Hey everybody, it's Mandy from Trouble Forge. We're on day 4 of the Pantry challenge. I pulled some discard from my sourdough starter yesterday because it was getting a little full and I really wanted to try to get it a little bit more active. So I'm going to use this to make some sourdough waffles. I did link this on, I think, day 1, and I used the waffle recipe from the Clever Carrot, so I'll link that in the description. Zad is prepping bacon. As I mentioned before, we always do bacon in the oven. We feel like it's just so much less mess and less splash and cooks a little bit faster, easier with toddlers roaming around and whatever. We have a few nachos left from dinner last night, so we're thinking that that's going to be our side with dinner. I'm going to attempt to make some sourdough discard rolls because I pulled out chip steak. We had some deer chip steak left from last year. I pulled that out last night to thaw, so we're gonna do some venison like cheesesteaks with sourdough rolls for dinner. I just wanted to mention that Zad got me these like slipper shoe like grippy rubber bottoms for Christmas, and I love them. So if you're in your kitchen all the time, these are amazing. He got them on Amazon. I'll link them. So another reason that I really wanted to get sourdough started. The Instant Pot went all over the place. The reason I really wanted to get sourdough started was to have discard for discard recipes, because there's a million things you can do with discard. Not that I couldn't whip up waffles from, so Bud and I made pancake and waffle mix like dry and put it in the pantry, which is great. I love that, but we don't get the benefits of the sourdough and the better digestion, all that kind of stuff. So I love having like a pint or a quart of discard in the fridge. It's amazing and whips up quick meals. I shouldn't maybe say quick meals. Delicious, healthy meals. I don't know how quick they are. Can we just talk about the cream cap on this milk? It's amazing. So this recipe calls for a tablespoon of sugar, which a tablespoon of sugar in the amount that it is making is nothing. But I'm just going to put a little maple syrup in today. I think that it'll be pretty delicious. For the most part, I feel like you can sub maple syrup or honey for sugar in these instances, and it'll be delicious. So if you've been following along, you know our morning routine is we get up, we have breakfast, we tend to the fire. Bud's putting coal on right now. I check my ferments and see where they're at. Looks like my starter rose a little bit, so I'm not going to make anything with it quite yet. I might wind up doing some discard sourdough rolls for dinner because I really want my starter to get good and hearty. I did a flow test and it failed, and so I know that the flow test isn't the end all, but I'm going to try it and see if I can just get better results with my bowl and get them to rise higher. What we need to do right now is I am low on flour in the pantry, so I'm going to refill it. This is our extended pantry. We keep barrels like this of things like flour, rice, beans, oats, etc. So I come in here, we have these cool scoops. I'll show them to you. So hopefully it's not too loud. The freeze dryer is running and the freezers are running. But anyway, so we have these cool metal scoops that we keep in our barrels, and then we just keep these smaller containers in the short-term pantry. And then we just refill our buckets of stuff from the long-term pantry. We've been doing it this way for probably 2 years, and it is really nice having the security of, you know, this much kind of raw ingredients on hand. It's really easy to refill these. These scoops are fantastic. We got them at like the Amish store or whatever. Everybody always asks me where we get these barrels. You could look on Marketplace, you might find them on there. We buy them from a hardware store that we had in Lancaster County when we lived there. We're in Pennsylvania, in case you're new here. So we always bought them there, so I just refill it from there. They sell 3 sizes of those barrels at the hardware store that we used to buy them at, and sometimes I struggle to get those lids on. So they have 3 sizes of barrels. The large one that we keep the flour in like this, they have this kind of medium size one, and then there's a smaller one like this. So like these smaller ones we'll keep, like there's popcorn in one. This has overflow beans. All right, so I talked the other day about how we never waste baking grease. Zad's pouring that hot into the jar. You can also let it cool and then just scrape it off with a spatula. But that is gold right there. You can cook everything in bacon grease. Bud and I even made our cookies with bacon grease. Some of them we made with lard.
Great on crow's feet.
Crow's feet? Ew. Have you tried this?
They're here. Crow's feet.
Oh my gosh. I guess you could try that. So I talked yesterday about how our cheese situation is going to get a little sketchy the further we get into this challenge.
Sketchy.
It's not quite sketchy yet, but we got cheese from Blessings of Hope. And again, it's from Blessings of Hope, like whatever. So Zad was trying to cut it, didn't really cut.
I got one slice.
Yeah, one slice. It's more like crumbles, which is fine. We can make crumbles work. We're just melting it. It's not a big deal. So we got our waffle iron going. As far as I know, I think I mentioned before, this one has like ceramic in it. I was really trying to find Zad a non-stick without the toxic coating nonsense for Christmas. We have 2 Mickey Belgian waffle makers, but we didn't have like a, oh my gosh. Cue Zad's Mickey or Donald. Who do you do? Mickey. That. So anyway, I wanted to get him like a non-Belgian waffle maker for Christmas. It was so hard to find one that wasn't non-stick and full of chemicals and toxic crap and whatever. So I think I did good with this one. It's called Green Life. It's on Amazon. I can link it below if that's something that you're in the market for. So bacon is done. Zad is working on getting the parts for the sandwich ready to go. I need to feed the sourdough starter and the ginger bug as with every morning. And I think, oh, we'll check our soda. All right, so this one looks pretty good. I'm actually not gonna mess with this one today. I need to feed this one. We need to feed this one. This one looks fine. This one looks fine. And this one we're gonna see if we have carbonation. All right, so this is very potent. It could be a little bit more potent because it's warm. We're gonna, yeah, Zad said it'll put some hair on your chest. So we're gonna put it in the fridge and check it in a few hours and see if it's a little less potent. I really don't wanna warm it to put any extra sugar in it because I don't wanna kill anything. So we'll see. Working with this little fridge. Our fridge died. In case you missed that part, our fridge died. And so I'm like learning how to pack our entire life in this tiny fridge. All right, so this, wow, amazing. Pretty excited to dig into this. What kind of topping did you use? Oh, the garlic onion jam and the jalapeno jelly. Yeah. Yum. Yeah. All right, friends, to my surprise, I passed the float test. I'm so excited. All right. So I am going to use Little Spoon Farms recipe to yet again try to master a sourdough bowl. I have a few friends that use this recipe. They said they love it. So I am working, because I passed the flow test, I'm working on the auto-lease phase, and then we'll keep moving along. So I'll take you through this journey. Hopefully this one will be the ticket. Zad has breakfast ready over here. Jamie got a waffle with some blueberries, an egg, and some bacon. Zuzu, the same thing, and then Zad and Bud and I have a sourdough waffle, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with delicious jams, and I am so excited. It looks amazing. All right, so I got my bull proofing, no, just kidding, auto leasing. It's on that stage. I got my dinner rolls rocking. I still need to feed the ginger bug and feed the starter, but we are getting there. There's always such a process in the morning when you're keeping all these things alive. So I have my sourdough discard hoagie rolls in the oven. They actually look pretty decent for me never making hoagie rolls in my entire life. So that's very exciting. Zad's getting the base ready for the venison. So it's like onions, peppers, things that we froze over the summer. Some, you know, sauces and spices and things like that. I'm going to pull some scrapple out of the freezer so that we have that ready for breakfast. So we got 4 or 6, I forget, pans of scrapple from the whole hog that we got. I have a video about the hog that we got. We love scrapple. If you've never had it and you just turn your nose up at it because you think it's going to be weird, you're totally missing out. Scrapple is amazing. I'll show you tomorrow our favorite way to make it, but it is so delicious and it's a great way to not waste anything from your hog. So my bowl is rising. It should be ready to go in the fridge for its cold ferment. Like I said, I'm using a different recipe than I have in the past. Actually, somebody who watches just sent me their favorite recipe. So if this one doesn't pan out, we're gonna try that one and see how it goes. There's actually surprisingly not a lot of information about sourdough hoagie rolls on YouTube, or really just in blogs in general. And I'm finding that I think the reason is this is like a colloquial thing, and hoagie, the word hoagie is kind of like a, I mean, like a Philly thing. And then so like our little region, we call them hoagies instead of subs. I don't know. Tell me what you call them, because maybe I just need to look up sourdough sub rolls instead. All right, guys, this ginger bug or ginger soda. Whew. Like I love sour and fermented and funky. This is a lot. So I'm gonna see what I can do to save this. Maybe sweeten it a little bit. I don't know, stand by. We're gonna do a little testing. So we're gonna put some sugar in this one, some honey in this one, and some SodaStream water in this one, and see what happens. All right, so I don't think these are too shabby. I did 2 smaller ones for the babies. We just set up a new weather station and learning its things. Anyway, so these look pretty good. I'm pretty excited. Okay, here's the verdict. So we did honey, sugar, and SodaStream, which is literally just carbonated water done in our SodaStream. Okay, so all of them much more palatable than it was at the start, but actually liked it the most with nothing added to it. I think we might just play around with this. I think tomorrow I'll probably start another batch and do a different flavor. I might just wind up like mixing these together, and you know, it's not going to go to waste. We're going to drink it, and I think it'll just like sourdough, like everything else, it'll just be a learning curve to figure out what we really like. But I think we're off to a really good start with this. I'm really excited to try a different flavor. All right, so Zad's got the chipped venison all cooked up in the cast iron skillet. I've talked about this skillet in a few other videos. He's using our Lancaster cast iron skillet. It's amazing. It's the best skillet that we've ever had. If you haven't watched Ruth Ann Zimmerman's video on how to get your cheap Lodge skillets like up to snuff so that it cooks like this Lancaster cast iron one, I'll link that video below. It's amazing. We haven't done it yet, but we got the flap disc, so we're excited to get some of these pans a little bit better. Once you watch that, everything you ever thought about cast iron I feel like is going to make a lot of sense. Anyway, so he's got some cheese in there melting. Those nachos that were left over from last night, we're just going to use those as a little side, and we'll be ready for dinner. Yum! I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with these rolls. I really was not expecting them to turn out this well. So I got my sourdough off of the stove. It's still sticky. I'm struggling. We'll see what happens. We might, I don't know. I gotta keep working on this. We're not giving up though. It'll be okay. I'm gonna flour the top of this, even though I know that flour is not gonna be as digestible as what already went through some of the fermentation, but we'll salvage it, we'll make it work. Anyway, on to things that are exciting and went really well. So here is dinner. We have our venison cheesesteaks, our leftover nachos on our homemade sub rolls. So sourdough discard recipes, we're killing it. It's just the regular that we are not quite there yet. But I hope you enjoyed day 4 of the Pantry Challenge. We'll see you guys tomorrow when we make scrapple, and I have no clue what's for dinner, but I'll let you know tomorrow. See you next time.